How's everyone doing out there? This is part two of the What is Rap Beef series, the art and history of rap battling. This is What is Rap Beef, the art and history of rap battling by the Black Effect. Again, this series is What is Rap Beef, the art and history of rap battling by the Black Effect. I'm gonna go through the criteria historically. What is the criteria of rap battles? What wins them? We're gonna go through the some of the most historic and most iconic rap battles throughout hip hop history. And we're gonna also cover why they're detrimental to not only hip hop but the community itself that we claim to love and want to protect. I'm gonna also break down the step-by-step requirements. There's also requirements for you to even be on in the realm of the person you're competing against. So we're going to get to that. Where we left off was we spoke on Cannabis and LL Cool J. But before that, we talked about Ice Cube and NWA. So I want to talk about another rap battle that involved Ice Cube. This time, this was a little later. And this was when Ice Cube was with West Side Connect, which included Mac 10 and Dub C. This is the battle between Ice Cube and Cypress Hill. Oh, yes. And that brings me to, again, the street element. I just told you who's involved. The Ice Cube and the West Side Connect. That Mac 10 was involved, was gang affiliated with the Bloods. Dub C gang affiliated with the Crips. Even though in this battle, Dub C tried to stay out of it and tried to play neutral, we all knew where his loyalties lied, And Cypress Hill, those guys were looked at as just being hippie backpack rappers and whatnot, but they also had street backings by the Latino community, the Hispanic community that they were, the Puerto Rican community that they were trying to portray themselves as. Not to portray themselves as, but Be Real, that Be Real was connected with. Be Real was connected to that side, because they also had it was two Cubans and a Caucasian man. So that when Mac 10 told the story of when he was out, I think he said he was in Puerto Rico, and he get approached by somebody from Cypress Hill or somebody who's down with them, pressing them out there. You don't know who. You don't know what's going on. You got dudes gualas jumping out the bushes and you like, what the hell going on? But that's all off of the beef, the rap. I'm using air quotes, the rap beef that was happening between Ice Cube and Cypress Hill. And all of this stemmed from Cypress Hill thinking that Ice Cube stole some of their lyrics or jocked their lyrics. That was a no-no in the golden era of rap. You could not, in the 90s and early 2000s, you could not take anyone's lyrics. You couldn't take a hook. Tupac will go off on you. That was an unwritten rule. So Cypress Hill caught wind of that. They felt like Ice Cube was jocking them, and they came out with the song No Rest for the Wicked, and they dissed Ice Cube, and Ice Cube followed suit. Like I said, he had that song that he came out with it was featuring Mac 10. It's called King of the Hill. That is a dope diss track. Like Ice Cube, when it comes to, he's one of the best on the mic, one of the best MCs. Like when it comes to that, with rapping and dissing, like Ice Cube's one of the best to get at you on wax and to diss you on the mic. So after that, Cypress Hill came out with another song, and that was the response to King of the Hill. They took the beat, the King of the Hill beat, and rapped over it and called it Ice Cube Killer. So you had that back and forth go on. And I could ask you, if anyone who lived through that era, you tell me who you think won. And for you people who are you new millennials or people who are just new into hip hop, you go back and listen to those things and you could tell me who you think won, because it's good to see the two perspectives, because without knowing the story and growing up in the time, or living through the time and knowing the full story of things, it's hard. You can't judge the beef on the same level that we can. It's the same way like that you saw the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. If you've been paying attention to both of those people in this era, then you know the story of the beef, so you can give the full perspective. But with the Ice Cube and Cypress Hill beef, I would definitely say that Ice Cube came out as the winner. Why? Because Cypress Hill career said, pew. Even though they legends in their own right, and they was doing shows and still doing shows. And Be Real is a legend. But Ice Cube's career shot up and catapulted and grew in music and everything else. And Be Real and Cypress Hill's career stagnated. It stagnated and actually went back. They was on a meteoric rise. Like, people like Cypress Hill, but it stagnated and it stopped them. Their credibility dropped. Like, Ice Cube clowned them, dropped their credibility. The things that were said about Ice Cube, those were very, like I said, a respect to those diss tracks that Cypress Hill dropped. Really, Be Real was like the only rapper, but respect to those tracks. Like that, I respect what they were saying about Ice Cube. Because, again, truth, what wins rap battles, truth, the MC ability, and you also the star power. I told you that. So I'm gonna go do a whole video breaking down the full criteria and parameters of what wins rap battles. So you had Cypress Hill call Ice Cube Doughboy. They were picking at him, calling him Doughboy, because Ice Cube had a song said, "I make dough, but don't call me Doughboy." They kept going at calling him Doughboy. They were saying that Mac 10 couldn't rap, and he was swinging on Ice Cube nuts. There's a lot of truth to that. Well, they were saying that Ice Cube, Mac 10, I like him as a rapper, but he wasn't as good as Ice Cube and Be Real. And that was at a time where rap skill level had to be high, or you was gonna get clowned, man. That's what it was. And Be Real had a line that said, "Analyze it. I'm a Mac. You should call me Mac 11 because I'm a higher caliber MC, and there's no question." So Mac 10's name is Mac 10. Be Real said, "You should call me Mac 11 because I'm a higher caliber MC than you. You suck. There's no question that I'm higher than you." And that was a hard line. Like, that was a great line. Like, Be Real was not playing. He also said that Cube couldn't figure out where he wanted to be from. South Central, Compton, claiming everything. Basically trying to make him seem like a phony. So those lyrics were truthful. There was a lot of truth to that, because Ice Cube was claiming one thing. It's not saying, I'm not here to clown Cube. I'm gonna give the points on both ends, but that was the truth. Cube didn't know. He claiming one thing, South Central one day, then he with the NWA claiming it. Like, you don't know. So there was truth to that. Truth has always been a part of rap battles. There has to be truth to authenticity. There, like in that point in golden era of rap, if you weren't authentic and people found that out, you were done. It was no coming back from that. So truth has always been a part in rap battles. It's very key. I mean, again, the illusion, there has to be strong illusion to the truth. Like, you can't just say something that has no truth to it, or that's just unwarranted or unfounded, because then that's gonna hurt you. We don't just I don't know what type of consumer that you are of hip hop or music, like, but I don't just want to hear a bunch of spewing of falsehoods when it comes to my rap and hip hop. But back to the battle with Ice Cube, West Side Connection, and Cypress Hill. In the King of the Hill song, Ice Cube also has some scathing disses and scathing lines directed to Be Real and Cypress Hill as a whole. Like, these were some scathing lines. Like, Ice Cube is one of the best to do it. He's already taken down NWA, but so Cypress Hill should be nothing. NWA was like a worldwide rap group, like one of the top number one rap groups. And so you had Ice Cube and Mac 10 dropping disses against Cypress Hill. Ice Cube was saying he had points against Be Real, saying he rapped with a light voice, like he had baby nuts, like talking with a high pitched voice, like, hi, how you doing? And it was funny because it's true. Be Real has a high pitched voice. So he was saying he rapping like he got baby, and it's a light jab. It's not talking about nobody's mama or something like that. So, but he was saying that he got baby nuts. He was saying that Cypress Hill don't have no women, and they be on they liking their stuff, or they're not heartthrobs, or they not liked or looked at as cool by women, and which was true too. Um, he was also saying that they were trying to be slick. They were, because they had the one white guy in there, and he was the one who was making it seem like Ice Cube and stealing, like, because no one really knew that for fact that he took they hook. But Ice Cube was trying to make it seem like it was the white guy who had the influence to be like, oh, look at those black guys stealing. See, that's what they did, and influence and Be Real. He don't even the white dude mugs. And then it's like, it was funny because there could, Ice Cube was really militant at the time, and with the Black Panthers, and you could kind of see that because, again, no one knew that he took the hook. That was something that they alluded to. That was something they believed. Like, it may have sounded similar. It sounded similar, but it was just, the whole hook itself was generic. Oh yeah, throw your hands in the air. Like, that's like generic saying. I can understand if you had like some real coded stuff, and he used it so you could tell that he jacked it. So you really didn't know. But he had Ice Cube and Mac 10 had good points there. Mac 10 came in on the second verse, and he was saying that the dude Sin Dog, who was like the hype man of Cypress Hill, Mac 10 was like saying, okay, I'm whack, you saying I'm whack, but this dude here is so whack that I'm not even gonna diss him. Like, he's so whack, he's not even worth us dissing him because he can't even rap, you know. And Ice Cube said the same thing. Like, you can't rap from the guts, man. Like, you don't even have no skills. Why are you even talking? So those were high level hit points. Like, like, if you don't understand how rap battles work, then that's why I'm breaking this down. Those points that Mac 10 and Ice Cube had were high level hit points, coupled with the fact that West Side Connection had the culture, had the streets. They were megastars. They had the pop culture as well. Even though Cypress Hill was rapping to like a white crowd, they were rapping to like a backpacker, smoker crowd. Ice Cube was rapping to the whole, like, little white kids were listening to NWA, Ice Cube, and West Side Connection. That's how the reach that they had. So they were winning off of all of those factors. But the one X factor that was the street element, and I mean like the actual activity that goes on in the streets. It's one thing for you to be like, the people got the culture and this and the third. The culture is not gonna get street active. Example is like when you got stuff going on with this Drake and the Kendrick Lamar thing. Drake may have more street cats around him that he surrounded himself around. And when Kendrick Lamar may have the culture. These are people who are on the internet and fans. Fans themselves, sometimes they will crash out. but that doesn't equate to the same as the having actual street guys behind you that are moving militantly, that are enforcing things, that they were enforcing respect on your name and maintaining your brand. That's a different thing. Who believe in you, like, and who are following suit behind the things that you say. That Cypress Hill, I mean, Hispanics, just like Fat Joe, the Hispanic community, and they've in the Puerto Rican community, they've been historically in hip hop known to stick together. Even though they may not even have nothing to do directly with the, like, it's, you could call it racist or whatever, but that is usually what happens. And even though when they're around in this black, in this ethnic, it's basically something that was created by blacks and Hispanics, rap, hip hop. But yeah, so the street X factor is what even the playing field, along with the raps from Be Real, like Be Real is really actually a dope rapper. But the street, like, but that still wouldn't have been enough. It was the X factor of the streets and the connections that Be Real and them had to that criminal element. I'm gonna say that the criminal element that evened out the playing field, and that's what caused I was that was what should have been a squash match. It should have been West Side Connection squash Cypress Hill in their career. But that's what evened the playing field out, and that's what caused Ice Cube and Mac 10, to basically go broker uh, something to somebody to come in and go ahead and squash that beef or whatever and end it. So, but I'm giving you these examples throughout history. This is a history of rap beefs throughout, and things that I've actually lived through. I could tell you the culture at the time, how it was. I could tell you this is when you had um, hip hop magazines, hip hop. These are things that people were very immersed in. And people bought. I bought these magazines weekly. I was rapping myself. I was immersed in hip hop. So these are things I know about. I could give you, just like how people react to certain things. I'm giving you how it was at the time, and this is how it should continue. This is the criteria. Like, you can make up your own new criteria, but that you gotta call it something else. That's why I'm giving you the history, because the Source magazine, all of this stuff has already been set. These criteria. So with that being said, this is the Black Effect. I'm gone.